Okay, today's video we talk about Frankenstein. This is a book that I started reading when I was a lot younger and I never actually finished, but it wasn't because I didn't like it. It was just, I wasn't as into reading as I am now. And I'm really happy that I returned to this book because the themes are something that I've been thinking about a lot lately. It's very similar to the idea of Faust. I'm not going to spoil everything in the book. I'm not going to give you the exact details because I really want you to read this. The Frankenstein in this book is much different than what we think of Frankenstein. It's the monster is the monster and Frankenstein is the man, and it's more so about the struggles of the man. It's more so about the man creating something that leads to his destruction. And it's a very similar theme to that of Faust, where the guy basically has everything. Faust has everything you could want, but he still wants more. He wants to basically become God. He basically wants to be able to control the world and control everything around him instead of just being happy with what he has, being happy with his blessings. And it's almost like a Luciferian pact. It's almost like the idea of Prometheus in a sense. The original title is Frankenstein or the New Prometheus, and the idea is that Prometheus brought light to man and brought something that the gods did not want to have and then punished them. But it's not really the greatest example because the myth Prometheus is kind of a hero, whereas Satan or Lucifer, whatever you want to call him, is like denying God. It's his hubris, it's his pride that makes him do something that is so irreprehensible that like he is condemned to live in torture, condemned to live in hell. And it's a very interesting book. There's some very serious themes. There's also some more fantastical elements. There's very interesting parts, and it's a really well told story. The story of how this book was written is Mary Shelley was obviously married to Percy Shelley, and Percy and Lord Byron had a contest of who could write the greatest horror story. It's probably safe to say that she won, and that's where this story came from. I think she wrote this when she was 19 years old. It's super impressive that someone could write something so poetic, so profound, so long-lasting at the age of 19. And it's really awesome to see that it stood the test of time because these aren't themes that we are away from. These aren't themes that we have surpassed, because nowadays think of the modern trend of AI. Think of the progress of robots and people trying to create these things that can replicate nature but are never quite the same. And the ultimate question is it worth it? Is it worth it to try to replicate man? Is it worth it to try to replicate nature? Is it worth it to try to create something that defies the laws of physics, that defies the laws of nature? Or is it much more worth it to worry about the things that matter? And this story is almost, I just dropped the book. This story is almost more so a warning of what happens when we allow our pride, when we allow scientific achievement to come before anything else. And it's almost the classic tale of ambition, where ambition is something that can drive you to greatness, but it's also something that can be your destruction. And we see that in terms of Alexander the Great. We see that in terms of Caesar. We see that in terms of so many great figures who, if they had just stopped a little bit shorter, their lives would have been perfect. But because they wanted more, because they wanted, something else, because they felt like something was missing, they pushed and pushed and pushed, and it ultimately led to their downfall. And it's really, I really love this theme because this is something that I feel myself coming back to time and time again, because I'm hitting that stage in my life where I have to either double down and commit to the success, commit to the things that, are going to set me aside from my peers, or I have to, take another path. Or I have to realize that no matter how much money I make, no matter how much I stand out, no matter how much people know my name and respect it, it's not going to mean anything if I don't have a family. It's not going to mean anything if I don't have people in my life that love me. It's not going to mean anything if I don't have the satisfaction in my day-to-day life. And it's a theme I think all of us can relate to, and that's what makes this book so great. Not only is it a horrific tale, not only is it a great narrative, not only is it something that has been pulled from in fiction and movies and countless mediums for the past 200 years. I don't remember how old this book is, but it's also something that resonates with you on a personal level. And this is truly one of the best books I've ever read in terms of a narrative as well as the themes, because there's not really a difference. As you're reading this book, you're learning lessons. As you're reading this book, you're learning about hubris, you're learning about pride, you're learning about these things that aren't really worth it. Was all of Dr. Frankenstein's work, was it worth it? Or if he had just stayed at home, if he had just stayed with his family, wouldn't his life have been so much better? Was it worth it throwing everything away for the betterment of man? Was it worth it throwing everything away for the sake of science, for the sake of progress, for the sake of creating something that hasn't been done before? Is it worth it to be in the history books, or would you rather not be remembered and be happy? And that's a fundamental theme I think we should all resonate with today, because this is where a lot of unhappiness today comes from. A lot of people want to set themselves apart from everyone else by working harder, by being more established, by making more money, by leaving a legacy that will be remembered. But the truth is, every single achievement that you will ever have will eventually fade into dust, and the only thing that will remain is, were you happy day after day? That is the only thing that will stand the test of time. On your deathbed, can you die knowing that every single moment you spent on this earth, you were happy? Every single moment you spent on this earth, you were fulfilling yourself in some way or another. You were spending time with family. You were doing creative endeavors. You were doing things that actually mattered to you and to no one else. Most of the things that we do are based off of how we can help others, based off how we can get more respect from others. I want you to stop this. I don't want you to fall for the same trap that Dr. Frankenstein fell for, and I want you to understand that the only things that matter are the things that, really mean anything, really mean something to you, really give you that deep sense of fulfillment in your heart. Not those empty achievements, not those empty medals, not the things that are going to put you ahead in the social hierarchy. Nothing else matters except happiness. And tell the people in your life how much they mean to you, because you might not get a chance to do that. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys so much. Please, please, please pick up this book if you haven't read it. It's a fairly short book. It's a very quick read because it's so interesting, and I think there's a lot of great messaging. There's a lot of great lessons in it, and I think if you haven't read it, you're really doing yourself a disservice. Link to this will be in the description. Love you guys so much. Peace out. I will catch you in the next one.